One of the most exciting and brutal game out there has received new gameplay details, and here's why every FPS and horror fans should know about it, especially right now. Ill has been quietly building up one of the strongest cult followings in modern horror gaming, and after the latest round of updates, developer interviews, and of course the latest gameplay reveal from this summer, it's clear why this game is shaping up to be something truly special. Developed on Unreal Engine 5 by Team Clout and now partnered with Mundfish, the studio behind Atomic Heart. Ill is a full-blown next-gen horror experience, quotient, grotesque, cinematic, and absolutely dripping with atmosphere. And let's start with the name itself. What the developers have said is that Ill isn't just a word chosen for edge or tone, it's woven into the world. Everything about the game, from its twisted enemies to its decaying environments, is built around the idea of sickness, infection, and corruption, spreading through every inch of this ruined setting. The devs said it best. Ill doesn't just describe the world, it is the world, and the story itself drops you into a mysterious fortified facility that's been overrun by something unspeakable. It's claustrophobic, brutal, and teeming with mutated nightmares that react in terrifyingly lifelike ways, but it's not all dim corridors. We've now seen glimpses of outdoor segments, daylight sequences that somehow feel even more unnerving because you can see everything. The game will take you from confined bunkers and decaying labs to abandoned streets and open zones, balancing tension and scale like few horror titles have. What makes Ill stand out is how cinematic it feels without losing that grim survival horror edge. According to the new details, you'll encounter other human characters, interact with NPCs, and face choices that might shift how events play out. Cutscenes are fully performance captured, and the protagonist, who is voiced, carries emotional weight, reacting to every grotesque discovery and close call in a way that sells the horror completely. Combat is where Ill really flexes its Unreal 5 power. The gunplay is visceral and grounded, with each weapon behaving differently. You'll feel the weight of a revolver kick, the punch of a shotgun blast, and the brutal impact of melee weapons. Every bullet matters, and your weapons degrade over time, jamming or breaking if you don't maintain them. You can repair and upgrade gear at workbenches, add attachments, and scavenge resources to stay alive. It's got that Resident Evil 4 remake style inventory system, but with its own dark twist. Organization and preparation matter just as much as your aim. And then there's the gore. Ill doesn't shy away from the grotesque, it embraces it. The dismemberment system is fully dynamic, meaning limbs, heads, and even torsos react to precise damage. Hit an enemy in the arm and you might watch it stumble, scream, and change its attack pattern. Blow a leg off and it might drag itself toward you, screaming and clawing. The team has confirmed that monsters will react to pain, dismemberment, and even the environment. They'll grab objects to use as weapons, bump into each other, and literally collapse into twitching heaps when shot. It's disturbing but also technically impressive. The game's physics system is built to make every kill feel authentic. The devs said they're blending animation with active ragdoll physics, so when a creature dies, it doesn't just fall over. It crashes, twists, or slams into walls depending on how and where you hit it. And yes, your character's own death scenes will be just as graphic. The variety of enemies and boss encounters will also push you to adapt constantly. There are traditional infected, towering, bloated monstrosities, updated from the original concept trailers, and massive boss fights that demand resource management and precision. The devs have even confirmed puzzle sequences, not as heavy as Resident Evil's, but enough to keep your nerves frayed and your mind engaged between gunfights. Under the hood, Ill is running on Unreal Engine 5 using every major feature available: Nanite for hyper-detailed geometry, Lumen for dynamic lighting and reflections, ray tracing for shadows and ambient light. It's built for high-end PCs and next-gen consoles, though the devs are promising tight optimization so it won't require a monster rig to run smoothly. One of the coolest details from the latest interviews is how far along development actually is. The story is locked in, cutscene production has started, and every department, from animation to enemy AI, is now in full production. The team has expanded from just 8 people to over 50, and with Mundfish's backing, they've got the infrastructure to deliver on their ambitious vision. The game is roughly targeting a 10 to 12 hour campaign, focused, tense, and packed with constant pressure. No filler, no stretched out pacing. Every encounter, every hallway, and every moment is designed to keep your pulse racing. The devs even teased that your character progression will open new areas over time, think of it as a horror version of Metroidvania design, where your tools and upgrades gradually unlock deeper, deadlier parts of the facility. There's also talk about the AI. It's not just monsters lunging at you. Some of them stalk you, learning from your behavior. Shoot too often and they'll react to noise. Try to camp in one spot and they'll flush you out. This dynamic design, combined with the advanced physics and gore system, creates an unpredictability that makes it feel alive in the most horrifying way. The devs have also been honest about what not to expect. No VR mode, at least not for now, no microtransactions, and a standard one-time price. They want this to be a pure premium horror experience, not another live service trap. A physical edition is confirmed too, which fans of classic survival horror will definitely appreciate. So why should people be excited? Because Ill isn't just another horror shooter. It's a full-on evolution of the genre. It's mixing cinematic storytelling with tactile, brutal gameplay, using next-gen tech to create something that feels disgustingly real. It's what would happen if Resident Evil 2, The Thing, and Dead Space all got thrown into a blender and then left to rot in Unreal 5. And maybe the most exciting part, the team isn't trying to chase trends, they're making something personal, something that feels handcrafted in every blood-splattered frame. You can see it in the way they talk about the project. They care deeply about horror, about immersion, and about building a world that feels both sick and alive at the same time. If you're into grotesque body horror, slow burn tension, and cinematic dread that doesn't hold your hand, Yale might be the next major step for the genre. The devs also named Half-Life 2, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil as core influences, especially in terms of world design. They want settings to feel alive and dangerous, a place where the environment itself works against you, not just the monsters. That's echoed in how levels are structured: larger open zones broken into tight corridors, alternate paths, and environmental storytelling woven into architecture. When Mundfish officially revealed IL under their new Powerhouse label, they positioned it as one of the first big bets under that imprint. In interviews, the Team Cloud co-founders made a point of saying that IL's nature as a survival horror means you won't always be able to blast your way out of danger. Ammunition is partially limited, and some threats may be unwinnable in direct confrontation. That's important. It forces the player to make split-second decisions about when to fight and when to run or hide. Another detail, the game's core premise and environment have shifted over time. Early teasers had what looked like a small town, but now it's centered around a fort or research facility plagued by this malevolent entity. The fort becomes a crucible. Its halls, labs, maintenance tunnels, and outdoor courtyards, all part of the same twisted ecosystem. Make sure you guys like this video if you'd like more gameplay and details from this game in the near future.